Good evening, everyone. This is Manali Raj. Welcome to the CSA Relay program presented by Chanakya IAS Academy, Patna. This segment, we demonstrate about the really important highlights from the perspective of a civil services examination. Let us have a brief overview of today's headlines. Cabinet gives nod to Data Protection Bill. World registers hottest day ever on July 3rd. Preparations for Chandrayaan 3 launch achieved another milestone. India's services sector growth eases to 3-month low in June as per the Purchasing Managers Index. RBI's interdepartmental group cautioned about the Government of India's plan to internationalize the rupees. 4th edition of the Space Economy Leaders Meeting under India's G20 presidency to begin in Bengaluru. Government planning implementation of Bahubali cattle fence along highways country to prevent road accidents. Moving into the details of the news, the Union Cabinet has cleared the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. The data protection legislation specifies norms on management of personal data of Indian residents and requires explicit consent from people whose data is collected and used. The bill essentially allows laypersons to complain to the Data Protection Board of India, consisting of technical experts constituted by the government, if they have reason to believe that their personal data has been used without their consent, for example, cell phone numbers or Aadhaar details. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill also outlines practices for entities that collect personal data, how that data should be stored and processed to ensure there is no breach, as well as rights of the persons whose data is being used. The bill draws from an European Union law, the General Data Protection Regulation, and benchmarks 23 instances in which taking consent for recording data is not possible. The bill comes after multiple revisions floated by the Union government, a process that was started way back in 2017 with the K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India judgment, which had declared that the right to privacy was a fundamental right as a part of right to life and liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution. Retired Justice B.N. Sri Krishna headed the first committee formed in 2018 to draft a data protection bill. World registers hottest day ever on July 3rd. The average global temperature reached 17.01 degrees Celsius on July 3rd, making it the hottest planet-wide day ever according to the data from the US National Centers for Environmental Prediction. The average global temperature reached 17.01 degrees Celsius, surpassing the August 2016 record of 16.92 degrees Celsius as heat waves sizzled around the world. The southern US has been suffering under an intense heat dome in recent weeks. In China, an enduring heat wave continued with temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius. North Africa has seen temperatures near 50 degrees Celsius. And even Antarctica, currently in its winter, registered anomalously high temperatures. Ukraine's Vernadsky research base in the White Continent's Argentine Islands recently broke its July temperature record with 8.7 degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, it promises to only be the first in a series of new records set this year as increasing emissions of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases, coupled with a growing El Nino event, pushed temperatures to new high. Preparations for Chandrayaan 3 launch achieved another milestone. Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft has been integrated with the GSLV Mark III launch vehicle at the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota Spaceport. The launch is planned between 12th and 19th of this month. The propulsion module will carry the lander and rover configuration till 100 kilometers lunar orbit. The propulsion module will orbit the moon as was done in Chandrayaan 1 and 2. ISRO is making a second attempt to gently drop the lander on the surface of the moon and the rover to move around the lunar surface. The Indian Space Agency has made improvements in the lander after learning from Chandrayaan 2 mission of 2019 when the lander crash landed on the moon's surface due to a software glitch. The payloads on the lander of the Chandrayaan 3 will soft land on moon and measure the thermal conductivity and temperature, seismicity around the landing site and estimate the plasma density. The rover payload will derive the elemental composition in the vicinity of the landing site. India's services sector growth eases to 3-month low in June as per Purchasing Managers Index. India's services sector growth eased to a 3-month low in June, but the service providers continued to signal positive demand trends, which resulted in a stronger increase in new businesses volumes and further job creation. The seasonally adjusted S&P Global India Services PMI Business Activity Index fell from 61.2 in May to 58.5 in June. Despite falling from May, the latest figure was consistent with a sharp pace of growth. For the 23rd straight month, the headline figure was above the neutral 50 threshold. In PMI parlance, a print above 50 means expansion, while a score below 50 denotes contraction. The upturn stemmed from an ongoing increase in new businesses, a healthy demand environment, and marketing initiatives. RBI's interdepartmental group cautioned about Government of India's plan to internationalize the rupee. An interdepartmental group of the RBI has said that increasing use of Indian rupee in invoicing and settlement of international trade, as well as in capital account transactions, will give the local currency international acceptance. The group was formed to examine the internationalization of rupee and frame a roadmap for the same. The report states that the internationalization of a currency is closely interlinked with the nation's economic progress, especially its prominence in global trade. The group has recommended enabling the rupee as additional settlement currency in multilateral mechanisms such as Asian Clearing Union. It has also encouraged the opening of rupee accounts for non-residents both in India and outside the country, and integrating the Indian payment systems with other countries for cross-border transactions. In a press release, RBI has clarified that the report reflects the views of the interdepartmental group and does not reflect the official position of the Reserve Bank. The Apex Bank will examine the report and then decide on whether and how the recommendations can be implemented. Fourth edition of Space Economy Leaders Meeting under India's G20 presidency to begin in Bengaluru. As part of India's G20 presidency, the fourth edition of the Space Economy Leaders Meeting has begun in Bengaluru today from July 6th. The two-day meeting will dwell upon the sharing of the space mission economy, responsibilities of space agencies, and an alliance in space missions. The goal will be to improve the space economy share in the global economy in a responsible and sustainable manner. Niti Aayog member Dr. V. K. Saraswat, Indian Space Association Chairman Jayant Patil, International Astronautical Federation President Clayton Maury, Radio Communication Bureau Head Mario, and OECD Space Forum Head Claire Joly will be speakers during the plenary. Cultural programs representing India's culture and tradition are also organized for the foreign dignitaries. Government is planning implementation of Bahubali cattle fence along highways in country to prevent road accidents. Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari has said that the government is planning to implement the Bahubali cattle fence along highways in India to prevent cattle from crossing the road and causing dangerous accidents that result in the loss of human lives. The minister said the cattle fence constructed using bamboo offers a fully effective and environmentally friendly solution. The bamboo is treated with creosote oil and coated with HDPE, making it a stronger alternative to steel. The fence has a fire rating of Class 1, ensuring safety and aligns with the principles of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which aims to make all highways sustainable and minimize harm to wildlife and cattle. That was all for today. Stay tuned to our channel for standardizing your civil services preparations. Thank you.